Libra. This person is coming to you like a divine gift. Prepare yourself. You haven't realized it yet, but the movement is already underway. The person is already on their way. The person is already on their way. The person is already on their way. And the universe is preparing you and them for a collision that will change everything. There's no destructive collision, but an encounter that was written before you were born, before you doubted you deserved it, before you gave up believing that someone like that exists, and you can feel it, not clearly, not logically, but there's this unease, this feeling that something is different, as if the air is heavy, as if the world is holding its breath, as if everything is aligning in ways you can't see but definitely feel. And maybe you're trying to ignore it, because hope hurts, because believing in divine gifts when you've been disappointed so many times seems like setting up for greater pain, because it's safer not to hope than to prepare for greatness and have it never arrive. But Libra, this person is not empty hope, not a broken promise, not just another disappointment disguised as a possibility. This person is real, and they are coming, and you need to prepare, not because you aren't enough now, but because an encounter of this magnitude demands that you be awake, present, ready to recognize when they arrive, and you've already had glimpses, small ones, fleeting ones, but real, a dream where you felt someone's presence without seeing their face, a random moment where you thought about specific qualities you want in a partner, and for the first time in a long time it didn't seem impossible, a small synchronicity that made you stop and think, does this mean something? Yes, it means something. All these little things, they're warnings, they're preparation, they're the universe telling you, wake up, pay attention, because what's coming will require you to be completely present, and let me tell you exactly who's coming, not the name, not the appearance, but the essence, because you need to recognize them when they appear. And recognition doesn't come from a superficial checklist, it comes from feeling something you've never felt before. This person will make you feel safe by being intense, and you didn't even know you needed that until this moment, but you've spent your whole life moderating intensity, diluting passion, tempering enthusiasm, because you learned that intensity scares people, that too much of anything, even too much love, too much passion, too much of you, makes people back away. So you've become a master of dosage, of giving 60% when you feel 100%, of expressing casual interest when you're completely fascinated, of appearing balanced when inside you're vibrating with energy that could light up a city. But this person won't want a watered-down version. They'll want a volcano. They'll want full intensity. And for the first time in your life, you won't have to calculate how much is safe to reveal, because with them, everything is safe, everything is welcome, everything is not only accepted but desired. This person will challenge you in ways that will make you grow, not shrink. And that's different, because you've had people who challenged you, who criticized you, who pointed out flaws, but those people made you feel small, inadequate, always falling short, and you grew around them, not because of them, despite them. But this person who is coming, they will see you completely, including parts you hide, including fears you don't admit, including wounds you still carry. And they will challenge you, but the challenge will feel like, I know you can be more than this, I see greatness in you that you are denying, and I won't let you settle for less. And this doesn't make you shrink, it makes you expand. It makes you want to be better, not because you're inadequate, but because you finally have someone who believes in you enough not to accept your own self-sabotage. This person will love you through the seasons, not in spite of them. And have you ever had people who loved you when you were okay, when you were happy, when you were being your most lovable version, but when you were broken, when you were confused, when you were being human in ugly ways, they backed away, or worse, they stayed but made you feel like a burden? That person, they will stay through all the seasons, in winter when you are closed off and cold, in spring when you are blossoming and vulnerable, in summer when you are radiant and confident, in autumn when you are letting go and transforming. And in each season they will love you, not despite the season but through it, because they understand that your whole self includes all the seasons. And here right now I need to ask you something, straightforward, honest. Are you truly ready to receive someone like that? Or are you still stuck in old patterns, hoping the wrong person will change, trying to force a connection where chemistry will never exist? If you feel you're still stuck but want to break free for what's coming, write in the comments, "I'm ready to let go of what no longer serves me and receive what is mine." Because admitting where you are is the first step to getting where you need to be. And your honesty here, it's not just for you. It's for every Libra reading this who feels unique in being stuck. Your courage to admit it frees others to admit it too. And community accelerates transformation, so comment, because you're not alone in this. And together you pave the way for what's coming. And about preparation, because the title says, prepare yourself. And preparation isn't about becoming different. It's not about transforming yourself into someone worthy. You are already worthy. You always have been. Preparation is about clearing space, creating openness, letting go of what's occupying space that should be empty, waiting for it. Libra, you need to end dead relationships, and not just romantic ones. Friendships that have died but you still maintain. Connections that drain you but you tolerate because of shared history. People you've moved on from but still keep around because of misplaced loyalty. All these dead relationships, they're taking up energy space, emotional space, literal space in your life. And when that person arrives, you won't have room. You'll be so busy maintaining the living dead that you won't have the energy to nurture something alive. So you end it, gently but completely. You honor what was, and you let go of what is no more. Libra, you need to stop looking. And I know it seems contradictory. The person is coming but then stops looking. But yes, because searching has the energy of neediness, of lack, of needing to fill a void. And the person who is coming, they don't come to fill a void, they come to share fullness. So you stop searching. You stop analyzing every new person as potential. You stop forcing connections that don't flow naturally. You stop trying to make it work with someone who clearly isn't meant to. And you live completely as a whole person, not half waiting for the other half. And what happens when you live like that? When you are completely alone, you emit a different frequency, a frequency that attracts not people who need you, but people who choose you. And choice is much more powerful than need. Libra, you need to heal the wounds you will project onto them. Because you have wounds, we all do. And if you don't heal them before they surface, you'll project them. You'll see betrayal from an ex in their innocent actions. You'll see abandonment from a father instead of them needing space. You'll see rejection from the past at a time when they're simply processing. And projection kills good connections. It kills them fast. Then you heal, not perfectly. Nobody heals perfectly. But enough. Enough to recognize when you're reacting to the past, not the present. Enough to say, that's my wound talking, not you. And healing can be therapy, it can be inner work, it can simply be recognizing patterns and consciously choosing differently. But it has to be intentional, because the person coming deserves to know you, not a shadow of the person who hurt you. And about recognition, because when it arrives, you need to know. It won't necessarily be dramatic, there won't be background music or divine lighting. It could be a completely ordinary moment. Spilled coffee, traffic jam, supermarket queue, and you look, and they look, and something clicks. Not an explosion, but a profound recognition. As if you've known this person for 1,000 years, as if you were specifically waiting for them without knowing who you were waiting for. And the conversation will flow in a way it never has before. It will be easy but not superficial, deep but not heavy. And you'll hear yourself speaking truths you usually save for a third date in the first minute. And you won't feel reckless, you'll feel right, and after they leave, because they will. First dates always end, you'll feel something new. Not anxiety, not fear that it was too good to be true, but calm, quiet certainty. As if you knew at the deepest level that this is a beginning, not an end, that they'll come back, that this is real. But there's a test, there always is. The universe doesn't give gifts without verifying that you've truly changed. So there will be moments, it could be days later, weeks later, where old fears will whisper, where old patterns will try to resurface, where you'll want to run or hide or sabotage or force yourself or repeat any destructive pattern you've always followed. And this is the moment where you choose differently, where you breathe, where you acknowledge fear but don't act on it, where you trust the process even when the process scares you. And if you pass the test, if you choose growth over the norm, then nothing stops you. Then the connection deepens in ways you didn't even know were possible. And it's about deserving, because you might be reading this and thinking, but I don't deserve a divine gift. And let me be very clear, yes, you deserve it. Not because you're perfect, not because you've never made a mistake, not because you've always done everything right, but because you're human, because you tried, because you loved even when it hurt, because you continued to believe in connection even after being disappointed. And this divine gift is not a reward for perfection, it is recognition of humanity. It is the universe saying, you have been through enough, you have learned enough, you are ready. And here is the person who will honor all that you are and all that you have become through pain. And maybe you're still skeptical, maybe you're thinking this sounds too good to be true. And I understand, because you've been sold fantasies before. You've been promised happy endings that never came. You've been told that the right person would make everything easy, and it wasn't. People who seemed right turned out to be completely wrong, and you learned not to trust pretty promises. But this is not an empty promise. This is not a fantasy being sold. This is spiritual law, a law that says, when you finally align, when you finally release destructive patterns, when you finally make space and heal wounds and become a more authentic version of yourself, the universe responds, always, not when you want it to, but when you are truly ready, and you are getting ready. Or you wouldn't be reading this, you wouldn't be resonating with these words, you wouldn't be feeling this restlessness that something is changing. Preparation has already begun, even if you don't consciously realize it. Your deepest self knows, and it is preparing. And when will they arrive? When will you recognize them and they recognize you? It won't be perfect. Let me be honest about that. Because a divine gift doesn't mean a relationship without challenges. It means a relationship where challenges uplift you, not destroy you. Where conflicts lead to deeper understanding, not greater distance. Where you are both committed to growth, not comfort. And there will be difficult times. Times when you question. Times when differences seem insurmountable. Times when you're tempted to run. But the difference is that you two will choose to stay. Choose to work through it. Choose to grow together instead of apart. And with time, not a lot of time, but some time, you'll find your rhythm, your own unique rhythm, one that doesn't resemble anyone else's relationship because it's based on who you two truly are, not on who the world says you should be. And life will change, not dramatically from the outside perhaps. You'll still have the same job, the same house, the same responsibilities. But on the inside, everything will be different. Because you'll have a true partner, not just someone who's there, but someone who sees you, who challenges you, who supports you, who chooses you every day, not out of necessity, but out of desire. And you'll find yourself doing things you've always wanted to do but were afraid to, because they believe in you in ways that make you believe in yourself. You'll find yourself being vulnerable in ways you've always avoided, because with them, safety doesn't come from hiding but from revealing. And years from now, because this is for the long term, not for now, you will look back. You'll look back at that moment, that exact moment when you read those words, and you'll see clearly. You'll see that it was true. That movement had already begun. That preparation was already underway. That person was already on their way. And you will be grateful. Grateful that you didn't give up. Grateful that you trusted. Grateful that you prepared yourself instead of passively waiting. Because passive waiting wouldn't have prepared you. Active preparation transformed you into someone who could receive the gift when it arrived. And the final revelation, the one you need to carry with you, divine gifts don't come to those who are perfect. They come to those who are ready. And ready doesn't mean without wounds. It means aware of them. It doesn't mean without fear. It means courageous despite it. It doesn't mean without a past. It means not trapped in it. And you are getting ready. Every day you choose healing. Every time you let go of what no longer serves you. Every moment you allow yourself to believe you deserve greatness. All of this, it's preparation. It's clearing space. It's opening a door. And when does the door open? When does that person cross the threshold? You will know, not because a fortune teller said so, not because a horoscope promised it, but because soul recognizes soul, because heart recognizes home, because you recognize in them everything you prepared yourself to receive. So get ready, Libra. Not with anxiety, with anticipation. Prepare yourself by clearing space, finish what needs to be finished, heal what needs healing, let go of who needs letting go, become a more authentic version of yourself, not to deserve them, you already deserve them, but to be awake when they arrive, to recognize instead of losing, to receive fully instead of partially, and trust, even when it hurts, even when doubt whispers, even when fear tries to convince you that this is fantasy. Trust that the movement has already begun, that the person is already on their way, that the divine gift is not about if, but when, and when, it's sooner than you think. Get ready, because what's coming will change everything. And you? Are you finally ready?